Hi guys, welcome to a very different video on my channel, at least. From the title you should know what you're in for, but I just want to say that I like the game and my over 100 hours clocked in should be proof of that. But to be honest, when I completed the game, if you can call it that, because that's not how I felt. I don't feel like I've completed it, but that's another story. That can be good and bad, so I haven't decided yet. But when I was done and we were settled, I started thinking about what I had felt the whole time from when I started playing the game until the last minute. And with no answers to those questions, they felt very much like what's wrong with Mass Effect Andromeda. So that's why I decided to make this it's gonna be a rant, guys, just so you know. And if it wasn't clear already, it's also gonna be very spoiler heavy. You've been warned. First of all, from the very first moments in game, you get the why we leave for Andromeda.
Every great moment in our history began with a dream. Each bold leap forward was achieved by those willing to do anything to attain it. We are, all of us, leaving behind families, homes, the very birthplace of our species. Some for discovery, to see the unknown. Others for a new start. But today, whatever our reasons, we take the first steps toward a new future for humanity. Today, we begin to make our dream reality.
And it didn't really make sense. But I thought to myself that, sure, there's gonna be more in-depth reasons later on. Things that haven't... a secret that's not told yet because they wouldn't want to panic everyone. But then I thought to myself, that can't be right, because where's the Reapers? Why is no one mentioning the Reapers? Why isn't that the reason we left the Milky Way? I know I've said that would be a shitty thing to do, just leave everyone behind and run for the hills, sort of. But on the other hand, if you feel deep down that the Milky Way is doomed from the Reapers, then why? I'm sure some would do that. Like if a comet was gonna hit the Earth, you know that someone, if we had a possibility to leave the Earth and settle somewhere else, someone would do that. And I can't even fault them for it, because if you've got the money, you would, because it would save the human race. And I can understand the want to continue on, even if I'm not able to. I can understand that you would send your children or grandchildren or your neighbor, right? So it's awful to be left behind, but it's more the thought of humanity just boom, tomorrow it's not going to be here, would be enough for me to pitch in. If I could send my kids someone I loved and I couldn't go, I would do that. I swear I would. But anyway, I think they lose the reason for leaving. They lose me as a player the minute I realized that they didn't leave because of the Reapers. They left because they wanted to explore. And I remember asking, who paid for this? Are they all coming with? All the people paying for this? Because I have a feeling 100,000 people of all races isn't going to be enough to get enough money to do this. But because it must have cost billions. Oh, okay, fine. So you got the richest people on the planet, in the galaxy, in the Milky Way, paying for it. So that would mean they all would be in on it.
Is my brother okay?
But they wouldn't give up the power that easily to Pathfinders and just be anonymous. No, I don't think so. Because if you've got $100 million to give away and you're coming with, you're gonna say that, alright, I'm gonna give you all of my money, but that means I'm gonna come with. That means I'm gonna have a say in this or that. Because that's just human nature. And I'm pretty sure that's Turian nature, Korean nature, whatever. Yeah, about that. They're not even in game yet. I'm pretty sure they'll come later, but that's the thing. Why would you make 5 ships, and you have humans on one, and you've got on one, Turian on one. I mean, why? You're essentially, what happened to the arcs would be, if the Pathfinder hadn't found them, you know what would happen? They would be dead. Meaning you've lost the whole Solarian race, for instance. Why would someone do that? And it's no reason, because the Solarians and every other race could have been in a pod in the human arc. There was no difference. We've been to all of them, and there was no difference. So I don't see a reason why you would segregate the races like that. It makes no sense. It just doesn't. You could have a Solarian Pathfinder, Turian Pathfinder, Asari Pathfinder, Human Pathfinder. Yeah, I had to mention them all. And still have 4 or 5 arcs with all the races, including Krogan. Well, I know they probably wouldn't want to be on the official Solarian arc, but if they had done it like I'm proposing, then you wouldn't feel like it was the Solarian arc anyway, so it wouldn't matter. And when you travel to a different galaxy, it's like being on a ship traveling across the sea to a new land. You just have to get along. It's as simple as that. You do, or you're not coming with. So you pick people that will work together with other races. That's number one. So that makes no sense to me at all. And that feeling of why are we here kept getting stronger as I realized there wasn't gonna be a revelation. Our memories, the trigger points, was just personal from Alex's memories. It wasn't a revelation, an aha moment. Nothing came of it. You could probably play the whole game without ever going back to Sam Node and talk to him about your dad. I'm pretty sure you could have done that. No problem. And the same with your sibling. They play no role whatsoever until the last 10 minutes. And I'm pretty sure we would have beaten the boss no matter if we spoke to Scott or not. So I have a test character that never went to Scott before he woke up. And he was pissed that she didn't come visit. But that's it. And then they talked like nothing happened. And the same with the way it doesn't matter what you say or do at all. You get someone pissed at you for 2 minutes, if that, or you get an angry mail. That's it. That's it. The thing they learned from Mass Effect 3 was probably the opposite of what the fans wanted them to learn from Mass Effect 3 ending. Because they said that the ending was going to depend on your choices. Which was, bullshit. But I'm not going to rant Mass Effect 3. I've done that to my children, and yeah, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. Okay, yeah, now I'm annoyed. And the reason why I'm so annoyed is because I really, really love the series. So, back to my problem with the Reapers not being even mentioned.
Are all the riders adrenaline junkies?
It makes this whole thing journey across the sea to a new land. We could have done that in half of the Milky Way that hasn't been explored. Right? And the reason we didn't is because Mass Effect team decided that they were finished with the Milky Way. They had so many problems with the ending on Mass Effect 3 that they decided to forget about all of that. Even when you make a character in Andromeda, you get a question if Shepard was male or female. And that gave me some hope about maybe a little. It doesn't even have to be a cameo. It could have been a voice of Shepard that we found in some of the hidden things on Dad's computer. Something. A sort of a something Shepard had said that we found. Because we heard Liara talking, so it wouldn't have been far-fetched that he'd gotten hold of Shepard. I'm just saying, it could have been. But not once in my 100 and some hours have I heard anyone even mentioning Shepard. Not once. Not once. I'm so amazed at that. I don't know why we even. There's probably something in the game I still haven't found out. Must be. Because why the hell else would I need to check the box for male or female Shepard? There's something. Maybe it'll come later. I don't know. I mean, to be honest, including the 10 hours of gameplay before the game released, I have 138 hours of gameplay. Yes, that's not all one character, but at least 100 of those hours is from my Sarah. So that's that. I am talking way too much about one point, but that's
You better.
I'm never gonna understand that because it never turned out to be more than us exploring. And I get that. I know human race wanted to explore the unexplored on our world, so it's not that strange that someone wanted to explore another galaxy, really. But when you know that more than half of the Milky Way is not explored, why go to such lengths to a one-way trip when you could take a trip to the other end of the galaxy and maybe you wouldn't even come back from there, right? So I know why they did it. I know the backstory from the developer's point of view, but it doesn't make a good story. Because it's such a huge leap to go from an unexplored galaxy you're already in to another unexplored galaxy 2 million light years away. Yeah, don't even get me started on how they figured out a way to scan the planets in that galaxy and get the results from now. The get explanation just doesn't really make sense. And when you talk to Sylvia about it, she's got no real explanation, and she's a bit stumped by it. And I get why, because that's probably not very thought out, and so they don't really have a good explanation for it. Just the get tech something. I'll watch something. It's fine. It's Mass Effect. We can't travel like this. It's not possible. I know that. But speaking of travel, is it? Did I miss something about how the Tempest was built, or what kind of engine it's got? Does it have a mini Mass Effect relay? Because we're traveling through systems and to other systems within a blink of an eye. And there's no Mass Effect relay anywhere. So I think I missed the class where they told us how the Tempest can jump through space like that. That's probably on me. I'm just saying. So now, back to the game plot that annoys me. The way they made it mystical about the cat. The cat, at first, made me excited because I was thinking, hey, they're putting in some similarities with the other games just to tease us. And that's not going to be the answer. No, that's not. It's not related. It's just them teasing. I was thinking that the whole time. When we first met the Archon, he said something along the lines of, "You can't possibly understand. It's beyond your comprehension." Now, where did we hear that before? Huh?
Rudimentary creatures of blood and flesh. You touch my mind, fumbling in ignorance, incapable of understanding. There is a realm of existence so far beyond your own, you cannot even imagine it. I am beyond your comprehension. I am sovereign.
And we will work together to defeat you. All of you.
You cannot comprehend the magnitude of our presence.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it again. The Reapers. It's beyond your scope of... You your brain can't understand it. We're too smart for you, basically. And that's what the Archon was saying, and is saying all the time. And what did he... and that was number one. I was thinking to myself, yeah, right. They're going with the villain that's smarter than everyone else, like the Reapers, just to tease us. And then the answer is going to be something completely different. Then, next time, you hear from the Archon. What does he say? Actually, it's the same time, the same meeting. He says,
I'm Ryder, captain of the ship and Pathfinder with the initiative.
You'll come with me.
Just tell me what you want.
I won't explain what you can't understand.
that's exactly what the Reapers were saying. They were gonna give us, that we couldn't understand, we couldn't possibly understand what they were doing, but what they were doing was awesome. It was just our destiny, right? And so now we've got two big arguments that are complete rip-off from the Reapers reaping off. And I'm starting to think, no. Did the team creating the story not create Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3? What happened? Did they forget what the Reapers said?
We are the harbinger of your destiny.
I actually know a lot about the Remnant. We should compare notes.
Enough. Your defiance is naive and reckless. This day marks the beginning of your greatness. Human, you've changed nothing. Your species has the attention of those infinitely or greater.
Did they have to make Archon say the exact same thing? The exact same thing.
Step forward. I am humbled before you. You who are the chosen. Chosen by the Archon. Chosen to be exalted. Chosen to be exalted.
So, the plot is they want to change us into them. Right, again. That's exactly what the Reapers are doing. We found that out in Mass Effect 2.
Dr. Chakwas, are you okay?
The colonists were processed. Those swarms of little robots, they melted their bodies into grey liquid and pumped it through these tubes.
The Reapers are making us into mush, and then to them. The cat are putting mush into us and making us into them. First the Angara, but also us. Hello, Mass Effect team. That's exactly... I don't get it. I don't freaking get it. So, I'm thinking, alright, so this... the Archon is under the influence. He's basically a puppet for the Reapers, or the ones that built the Reapers. It's gotta be. It can't be a coincidence that you have two villains in two galaxies, neighboring galaxies, and they both say the same thing. They just do it a bit differently, but the results are the same. They're out to use your DNA as a mush in themselves. Really? Seriously? Is that the only scary thing the BioWare team can think of? I know it sounds cool and awesome on paper, but when you use it twice, it's old hat. And honestly, it wasn't that good of a plot twist. when we found out in Mass Effect 2.
Pathfinder, I am tracking
Either
multiple inbound
because
messages.
I've got a problem with whatever mush was left of us.
Sam, is there an off switch to this horror palace?
I've accessed the EM field. I can overload at your command.
You promised you would get our people out. There's no time to open hundreds of pods, let alone help the Angara
Wait.
inside.
Leave my sacred temple intact, and I will open the pods of the Chosen. Take them. Just leave this holy